Hi, welcome to Cousins Honestly Openly Discussing Everything Spicy.
Welcome to the chodes.
There goes the chirp.
This time it came out.
On point.
No practice. That's a brag.
Literally.
Oh
I didn't have to go through 5 consecutive minutes of...
Well, you gotta warm up the...
Her vocals.
Yes, mierda. For real, dude. Every time I'm editing, I've told you this before, but every time I'm editing, I'm just like, we're fucking stupid. Like, I can't with us.
Our vocabulary. Por la gran puta.
Dude. I don't even know. We should do a read. No, that's just gonna prove. I was gonna say we should read something on... like to test our reading level, but no, let's not.
No. I like that idea. We should post it on the page and have people DM us something to read.
Oh, yeah.
That they think that we probably can't read. We'll entertain them.
Words that you can't say properly. Like Worcestershire. How do you say that?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
I don't know. Worcestershire. Dude. Girl, you're talking to someone that used to call cumin coming. Yeah, I was like, wait, what was that shit?
I know.
Cumin coming. Yeah.
Well, it's not that far off. You were reading it in the Spanish way. That's the reason why you were reading it in Spanish.
Thank you for finding a reasonable excuse for me.
That happens to me all the time. Like people who how people who say ask, but they don't say ask. They say X. I'm like, where? How?
Where's the C? Where did that C come from?
I know. I just don't get it. But then again, I'm stupid as fuck, so I can't even be judging people on how they speak.
Did you ever watch the movie Step Brothers?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, do you know where they're trying to say Pam? That Pam, is there 2 N's? Are the N's silence? We're like, what the fuck?
That's us. Every episode.
That's, yeah. Mm-hmm. Literally us.
Oh my god. Anyway, babe. How we doing today? It's hot, I know.
We're doing great. Surviving. I went to the beach last weekend, so that was festive. Still stressing out about what to do for my mom's 60th, but who knows? By the time this episode's out, it would already happen, so hopefully I figured it out.
You will. It'll come to you in a dream, like the dreams you've been having.
Jesus.
I have not been to the beach this summer, which is crazy. Because last year, I think because after the breakup, I was just trying to be out and do everything. I had done like all the summer activities at this point. This year, I haven't done anything, girl.
I mean, you've gone to Universal, but not the beach. But I don't invite you to the beach because we have a history of that. So.
Yeah, no. That's one of the places that I don't think we're going to go. Maybe in Guatemala. No, tampoco. Porque probablemente vamos a estar borrachas. And us drinking at the beach is not a good idea. So.
First of all, you have to analyze the time and place that I was in my life back then and what was going on. Yeah. So that's why, hence the drinking. So I'm not in that space anymore. So
and taking drinks from strangers, because I still believe that drink had something, girl.
Right. So you see, there you go. Don't put all the blame.
Maybe in Guatemala. We'll go to the beach in Guatemala because the beaches in Guatemala are not as crazy, I think. At least not where I rent the house. So
okay. I don't stay here at night like that, Don't do that. But
we'll see. Because I'm still getting over my anxiety when going to the beach. Like, it still causes me a little bit of it doesn't matter the time of day. It's just like the sound of waves. Like, remember when we went to Vegas and fucking, what's her name, put the sound of the ocean for us to go to sleep, and that thing had just happened? I was like, you stupid dumb bitch.
Who did that?
The chirping one. Your bestie.
My bestie. Who?
Your bestie. I'll text it to you because I don't know.
When did we go?
We went with the whole group. When Ángel Aguilar was like, shut
up. No, but that bitch did it deliberately to piss you off.
Yes, as per usual.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, you could have just said that. You could have just said the extra one. But I that makes sense. I was like, what group?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, thankfully, I always have my headphones on me, so I just put my headphones on. But I was like, oh, you stupid dumb bitch. How dare you? And then the next day, he was like, Mariah, was she able to sleep last night? And I was like, oh, estúpida.
Yeah, see? Deliberately.
But anyway, that's cool. We'll go to the beach together one day. This is the month of manifestation, like I said last week, so. We still need to do the Primas in Guatemala trip.
Like me and you? Or I was like...
Yeah.
Oh, what other cousins?
Well, you know the answer to that question.
I was like, wait, it's cousins.
No, because we call each other
because now like I know, but now you met my mom's side, and they like you, so.
Oh yeah,
I know.
They're cool.
I'm sure they'll be down now.
But now, if that's the case, we have to invite the one on our side, not the one that shall not be named. The other one, the cool one.
Okay.
You're like, okay. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So I have a question for you.
Okay. You have an answer?
You might. I saw this thing on Instagram today that said, women who are over 30, give one piece of advice to women who are in their 20s. Bitch. No, because you'll see why, but just answer.
Okay.
So just give one piece of advice to women who are in their 20s. What would be yours?
One piece of advice? Like just one?
Well, I wrote a whole ass paragraph, girl, but you can whatever you would advise the children.
Damn. Okay, well, if you're like in your early 20s, I say enjoy it. And by enjoy it, meaning do all the fun stuff, take all the trips, meet new people, build those friendships starting at that point, and don't get invested fully in a relationship unless you know it's going really well and you know that it's gonna last, because in your 20s you're so young, and I mean you still don't know what you fully want or understand what you fully want, so don't invest your time and energy on someone else's dreams. And then for guys in their early 20s, same, figure out what you want to do, get your whole life out there and just get out of your system, meet all the girlies, have fun, and then once you meet that one and when you're ready, like once you have your career established and what you want in life and you've already done all the fun stuff, settle down, find someone, settle down. That could be in your late 20s, but early 20s, and enjoy just meeting people and building relationships, like friendships and stuff.
That's a good one. I didn't think about giving advice to the guys, but that's a good one. Yeah, build your empire first. So I commented on the post and I put, start taking biotin. Don't go to sleep with your makeup on. If you don't feel like going out, don't. Have clear boundaries. Don't try to change men. At the first red flag, walk away. Self-care Sundays are much better than brunching every weekend. Save money and don't seek validation from anyone but yourself. That's what I put. And then I have like 831 likes on that comment and a bunch of like little comments under it. But girl, how we were talking about how people don't know how to read and stuff. Some girl commented on it and she's like, why should we stop taking biotin? Is it bad? I'm like, girl, I said start taking biotin. But I didn't correct her. Someone else did. And then another one said, oh my God, what the fuck did she say? But Hold on. Where the fuck is the comment? Dun. I think she deleted it because a lot of people were making fun of her. But she said something like, how do we start taking Bitcoin? And people were like, biotin. Bitcoin. I know.
Right.
And then someone else said, all of this 100% and start saving for retirement. I know you're barely surviving as it is, but put something in a savings for later. I promise you won't regret it. But I think this comment section is pretty cool because like a lot of people are saying good stuff. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. No is a full sentence. Do not stay if you're not happy. Don't stress too much over anything. All of this is temporary.
Yeah.
Which, girl, if we know anything is that the 20s go by. Like that meme of the raccoon that has the little cube of sugar and puts it in the water.
Oh. And he's like, where'd they go?
Yeah.
Really, that's what you're gonna be like, where did my 20s go? That's where they went.
That's how time flies.
I mean, I have no complaints about my 20s.
Me neither. I like my 20s.
But if I can go back, I think I would focus on taking care of myself more. Like you said, taking the biotin, just going to the doctor, like making sure like what I can do to improve my health. You know, and I don't know, like get into like a sport or something just to keep myself physically active. And I would also, not just for the guys, but the girls also, like figure out what you want to do. Like the sooner you figure it out, the better. Telling you from someone that like it took me to get into my 30s to figure out what I want and how I'm going to go about it. But in my 20s, I wasn't focused on that. And I think you should focus on that. I admire the girlies that are in college. Like they go to college straight out of high school and they already know what career they want. Sometimes that's not, your mind changes and you decide that you want to do something else. Go for it. Like Mariah has said before, yeah, education, anything that involves you learning something new is always going to be for the best. The more traits you know, the more things you have under your belt, and you can whip them out whenever you need it. So
also, if you're a handsy person, like if you work better with your hands, don't go for don't take the path that all the adults say, like, oh, fucking be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a this, because yes, we need those people, but figure out what you're good at. Not only what you're good at, but what you like, and like do that. So I firmly believe, like we talked in the work episode, that if money wasn't an issue, a lot more people would be artists. But I think, it also comes from the mindset of like the old school people that they're like, oh, you have to go to college and you have to have a degree. But having a degree nowadays really doesn't mean anything, because there's people in higher positions that have no education, and yet they're your fucking manager, they're your boss, they're like the owner of a company, like, yes, school is important if that's what you want to do, but also look for something that is gonna make you happy. Because hold on. These airplanes, man. Because for me, for example, I went to school for medical billing and coding, right? And yes, it's good money, and yes, I'm good at it, and I've been doing it for a long time, but I am miserable at my job, and I wish I would have had the luxury when I was younger to discover my interest, or like you said, like if I could go back in time, I would, instead of taking all the electives in college for, I don't know, an actual degree, I would go for ceramics, for example. Like just things that piqued my interest, but I never really pursued because I was in that mindset of like, oh no, that's not going to make me money. So,
yeah, exactly. Find your passions, because sometimes your passions might serve the community or others, maybe you are a good lawyer and you can help people out of some really tough situations. But if that's not your calling, and say you have, you're really good at fixing computers or building things out of scratch, you don't know, you can build an empire. So it's just looking into things that you're good at. I know the physical girlies that, have done soccer all their life, and then later on they're just like, no, I have to do a career, and they lose their physical talent with soccer, and they're like, they don't have time for it, but that was what brought them joy and what brought them peace. And who knows, you can play in a major league.
Do more of what makes you happy all the time. And I would most definitely stop pleasing people, like, just to be liked.
It's giving pick-me vibes.
I think I know. I was listening to that book that I sent you and our other cousin the other day. It's called Loud, Accept Nothing Less Than the Life You Deserve by Drew Afualo. And it's a really good book. I think like it's a good listen or read if you're into reading more than listening. I like audiobooks, but it does give you pretty good life lessons. So, see, we're being intellectual today.
I know, who would have thought? And this is supposed to be like the shit talking episode. Something like that.
Well, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Speaking of shit talking, I opened Facebook dating again.
For the third time.
For the third time, I know. Because I was bored, girl. I get bored, I start swiping, but again, I make it abundantly clear to these guys, I'm not looking to fuck around, because literally that's not what I'm into. Like, if that's what I wanted, like, I thought to myself, right, is this really what I want right now? And I'm like, no. Because if that's what I wanted, that opportunities are endless. And so I put there that I'm looking more for, like, people to go out with, like, gym buddies, and, like made it clear I'm not looking to fuck around. What do guys do? Hey, what's up? Like, you wanna add me on Snap? And then I'm like, I don't know you like that. So a couple of messages back and forth, and then I'm like, all right, let's add each other on Snapchat. First thing they fucking do, dick pic, girl. I told a guy the other day, I was like, I will literally screenshot this, find your Instagram, and send it to your mother. Because what reaction do they expect? Like, honest to God, okay, if it's a guy that you've been talking to already and you like him and, like, the flirting is there and, like, the vibe is there, I think we don't mind it as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, from the get-go, sending a dick picture, what's their intent? Like, how do they want us to react?
It's like, what do you want me to do with this? Admire it? Like, look, stare at this? Like, I don't know what to do with this.
I know. So I was talking to some guy today, precisely, and I just sent a picture because I'll take a picture and I'll send it to like 5 people at the same time because I'm like, let me let you think that you're special. And he was like, damn, you're so beautiful. And I'm like, yeah. And then I literally told him, I was like, tell me something I don't know. And then, because these guys, they fucking hate confidence, okay? Mm-hmm. They say like, oh, I want a confident woman. But as soon as they find one, they're like, oh, never mind. Boys. Yeah, because like, oh, then you're conceited, So then he's like, I have a big wee-wee. This fool called it a wee-wee, okay? And so I was like, congratulations, ? And then he sends me a picture of him laying down with his gray sweatpants. And you could see the outline of his dick. And I'm not gonna lie, it was big. But I was like, literally like that meme that I like sending you, the guy blinking, like, okay. Like, what am I to do with this? And then he's like, you like what you see, babe? And I was like, how am I supposed to react? I was like, literally, this is the biggest turn off for girls. Like, how do you want me to react? I asked him. And he's like, well, it's not even like a fully naked dick pic. And I was like, no, but like, what do you want me to say? Like, oh my God, it's so big. I can't wait to sit on it. Like, how do you want me to react? And then he's like, I want your honest opinion. And I was like, well, my honest opinion is that you're for the streets acting like this. And he just like sent me a bunch of like faces laughing. And I was just like, I can't take you seriously, honestly. And then he's like, mi amor, relax. I'm like, I'm not your amor fool. Like, blocked.
Already. Damn.
This is the dating game currently.
Yeah, and then like, what were you telling me about the... if we had the confidence that these men have...
Right, we would fucking rule the world, dude.
The sheer audacity.
Because they're not thinking...
The sheer audacity.
Yeah, like, okay, so like for women, right? Like, we take a picture and we're like, oh no, our belly looks, a little puffed up. These fools be posting shirtless pictures looking like Peter Griffin, bro. And I'm just like... How?
Looking like Homer Simpson.
Yes. Damn. With the 3 hairs too.
Literally, because then they take off their hat. They take off their hat and you're like, what the...
Hat fishing is the worst thing. Because you think they're hot and then they take off their hat and they're bald and you're like, ew. Can't believe it.
Slightly remotely.
Yeah. Exactly. No. What about our infield reporter? Do you have anything to report on?
Oh, our infield reporter is taken. She's off the streets. She found her man's on Tinder. And it's been going great. So we lost... She says it's been going great. So we lost our infield reporter. We lost our infield reporter to the streets. And to the dating app, I guess.
I know. Is it unrealistic to think that you can find something real on Tinder? I wonder.
I don't think so. I mean, there have been some good candidates that I've had on there, but other than that, it's like, meh.
It's like the void from the Deadpool movie.
Yeah. It literally is. That's where you end up when you end up single again. Ugh. Damn. Literally.
That doesn't give me hope. But girl, okay, so I'm going to talk about someone I know.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you her situation, and you're going to tell me what you would do. Okay? So this person I've known for a while, and she has a man's, okay? In usual fashion, Maria fashion, you know how I'm the biggest fucking hater of all my friends' boyfriends? Mm-hmm. I have never liked her man. I don't know him, but I know of him, and I know what he's done, and I just do not like him. So they met on one of the apps way back when. I think it was OkCupid. And they've been together for 8 years now. And years ago, I remember that she told me like she was feeling like shit, because she was like I found my boyfriend had been texting other girls. Basically, he had the apps. Like being in a fully committed relationship, already living with each other. They're a couple, Like the next step is to get married, right? And so she found that he had the apps. And so she was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this? And I remember at the time, she told me that basically they were sharing location. And she's like, no, he's not going to go and do anything because I have his location. And I was just like, girl. But, she stayed. And this is years ago, okay? And now they're 8 years in. And the other day she came to my house because I knew something was up with her because you know how like I'm a little witchy, but she didn't tell me nothing until like a couple of like maybe it had been 2 hours that she had been here, and she was like, "Where are you at?" And I was like, "What?" And she started telling me that basically the same shit happened again. And the first time I remember the excuse that the guy gave was that that he wanted to see other girls' titties. Like he was asking for nudes from other girls. And I was like, what the fuck? And I get it because, when you're in a relationship and you're seeing the same dick over and over and over again, like, it can get a little tiring. So, like, I get that. But also, there's free porn all over, right? And also, like, why are you going behind your partner's back and I don't know, having the apps again? I don't know. So the thing is, he did it again, and she's over here like, but he hasn't seen anyone. Like he hasn't really done anything with anyone. Like he told me the only thing he did was smoke weed and like with some girl in his car. And I told her like, girl, like, do you not know about car sex or like? What are we doing here? And just to this full disclosure, I have her permission to talk about this. And so I told her, I was like, are you gonna wait another 8 years? Like, like, is he ever planning on asking you to marry him? Like, what's the deal? And she's like, no, but like, I just want to go out and I want to see if, like, if I get hit on. And I was like, okay, what if you don't get hit on? Because that guys get intimidated by girls, right? So, like, you and I have gone out multiple times together, and we don't always get approached. And when we get approached, it's usually with some stupid shit like, oh, you guys look like bitches, or some stupid shit like that, right? So I asked her, I was like, what are you going to do if you don't get approached by a man when you go out? She's like, well, I just want to see because I know that I can pull bitches too. And I'm like, okay, but again, my question is like, what happens if you don't? Are you gonna stay? As of right now, the answer is yes, right? So I'm like, I don't know. Like, I wish I could just. What do you think? Tell me what you think.
Well, I feel like this fool has shown his true colors time and time right now. And he's just going to keep doing that. And like you said, there's free porn. So if you wanted to look at someone else's titties, quote unquote, yeah, there's a website for it. But the fact that you're going out of your way to entertain real life people that are on these apps, that are looking for an actual hookup or an actual like meet and greet. And this fool's entertaining that idea. Whether he goes through with it or not, I think it's still foul play. And I think as a girl, I understand her. She's invested 8 years already, and that's investing time and emotions that you can't get back. And if she goes out there and she doesn't get that confidence boost, no one hits on her or whatever, she's going to stay because she's going to be like, well, at least he's there. Whether he's looking at someone else, but at least he comes back to me. And that just shows that, she's not willing to let go of that. Like, no, maybe it's just this one time and she's just going to excuse everything for him. I don't know. I feel like she's still going to stay, and that's sad. But if I were her, I would leave. And whether I don't get that confidence boost, I'll just figure out what I'm going to do with my life, but I'm not going to stay with someone who doesn't want to be with me.
Right. And then, like, she's like, he does so much for me. And I was like, okay, what does he do? And she works from home right now, right? So I'm like, what does he do? And she's like, well, you know, when I'm working, like, I ask him to give me a cup of water. He does. And I told her, I was like, so, like, literally the bare minimum. Like, it's not like he's taking her on expensive trips.
Literally things that he should be doing.
Like, right. And so I'm like, girl, I'm like, come on. And what I was going to say is, like, I wish I could, like, open my girlfriend's eyes and be like, you deserve better. Like, look at yourself the way I look at you, type of thing, you know? Because, like, I know we love our girlfriends and everything, but sometimes, like, people just don't know how to see themselves in a different light, and we put ourselves down, right? Because I know that I used to do that with my ex. Like, I would tell you, right? Like, who am I going to talk to if, like, I'm not talking to him because I work from home and I'm lonely and da-da-da-da, you know, and, like, and all the things. And look at me here, like, a year later, I'm fucking thriving, you know, in my life. And, like, I'm not saying my experience has to be everybody's experience, but I feel like I'm at such a point right now where, like, if you're going to come at me with some bullshit like that, I'm just going to be like, fuck you. Like, I can't deal with it. And that's when I stop talking to you. That's when I ghost you. That's when I cut it off. I could cut off communication, you know, like, that's the reason why I also haven't gone on any dates, because no guy has made an effort to, like, actually plan a date, you know? It's always like, oh, well, what do you feel like doing? No, bitch, you're asking me out, figure it out. I don't want to plan it. You know what I mean? But, yeah. And I think, like, the scary stories of the dating world is what scare them from leaving their current relationships, because she's not the only one.
Yeah, no.
That is going through, you know.
So I recently met this really cute chica, and she's telling me her story, and, you know, she shared it with all of us. She said that basically she was in a long relationship, about the same as your friends, 7 to 8 years. And this was like her first relationship ever. Okay. So high school sweethearts and whatnot. And during those years, they have been on and off 3 times. And they used to live together, but they have shared pets, right? She ended up keeping the pets. And recently, one of the pets had to be taken to the vet, and she had communicated that with him. But mind you, prior to this, she had been blocked. So she had to reach out to a family member of his and, you know, to get the message to him. But now she's talking to someone, and it's been a year and some change that they've been talking, and they've been going on trips together, vacations here and there, and doing the fun stuff together. And she's like, so I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't know what to do? Are you with the new one, or are you considering going back to your ex? And she's like, no, I don't even want to talk to the ex like that, because I feel like it's going to give him false hopes, and I don't want to give him false hopes. I'm happy in a new, whatever this is. And I was like, well, first of all, we need to fix something. You need to establish with the new one, what are you? Because you don't want to invest another 7 or 8 years not knowing. And here you are putting all your time and your energy onto something when you can be meeting either someone else, but definitely not going to your ex, and definitely not staying with someone who doesn't even have the balls to, like, consider asking you to be his girlfriend.
Correct.
I think guys now, let's call it what it is. Guys right now don't feel the need to ask girls to be their girlfriend. They feel like just because we've hooked up, just because we've gone to 3 places together, we're going out. But we don't need to label it. Yeah, if the girl were to do something with another guy, she's a hoe. But if they were to do something else, well, we're not anything. And whose fault is that?
Yeah, it's like covering their ass. Huh?
Yeah, it's to cover their ass. And it's like a double-edged sword for the girls. Because we're not going to ask, because then asking is like, if we have to ask for it, then why am I here? You know what I mean? Like, I'm giving you all the clues that I'm in for it. I'm going out with you. I'm sleeping with you. I'm sharing things with you. So clearly I'm invested, but I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you to ask me, because that's like begging, and we don't want to beg, right? So that was my advice to her. Like, First, figure out where you stand with the new one and make it clear to the other one that no way in hell. And also give yourself that respect in that place. And I'm like, and you're so pretty. I'm like, you can be fetching like fucking 3 or 4 right now. That won't mind asking you to be their girlfriend.
Right. I don't know. Dating culture has become, it's always been bad, but it's just gotten worse with time, I think. Like, guys, I feel like they want to be treated like princesses. So there's like...
Their soft men era.
Yeah, like we're over here like trying to be more feminine, because that's like every man podcast out there, right? Like, we want a girl who's feminine, like we want a girl It's like, okay, but we cannot be feminine if you don't put us in that feminine energy,
right?
Because
if you don't provide your masculine energy. If I have to feel like I'm masculine, then never mind.
If I have to like plan a date, which is something so simple, and like we're not, we like us, we're not asking for like 5-star restaurants. We're not asking you to take us to, I don't know, the fanciest restaurant in LA, you know, like just plan something that's fun. Like, you know me, I'm literally happy fucking going to the arcade. Like, those are the type of dates I like. Like, dinner and a movie, I don't consider that a date because you don't talk. So
exactly.
You don't get to know each other. But, like, that's something that you do when you're already, like, I don't know, 3-4 dates in, right? But, guys don't want to plan anything, girl. Like, today some guy told me, like, I want to see you. And I was like, when? And he's like, today. So I was like...
Where?
No, and I told him, I'm recording today, but maybe after we can have a drink or something. I even suggested that, okay? I went as far as saying fucking that. And he's like where though? And I was like, I don't know, like, because he told me he lives in LA, and I was like, LA is pretty fucking big. Like, I don't know what your area is. I was like, I know this place in here and in here and here. And then when I had already like sent him suggestions, I was like, what the fuck am I? Yelp? And then I was like, but you know what? If I'm being asked out, I don't like planning anything out. I don't like being the one to, like, choose. Because I already do that every day in my regular life. Like, I'm a boss-ass bitch, you know? Like, you know that I have to take care of myself. I, like, kind of take care of my family. I have to, like, be at my job. My job is pretty demanding. So, like, when it comes to that, at least... take that pressure off me. How do you want me to be in my feminine if you're not even doing that? It just doesn't work out. And that's why I'm like, that's where I tap out. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can't do that, I'm not gonna invest time in you.
Yeah. On that, I mean, on that, I'm thinking, because I'm like, on that end, I'm thinking about my situation. Like, in my relationship, I don't plan things, thankfully, knock on wood. I was like, wait, do I do that? No. He thankfully does all that. And he's busy and stressing the hell out, but he finds a way to plan something. Even when I'm the one who's like chilling and I have all the spare time, I don't have to worry about that. He wants to hang out, he'll tell me where, when, and you know, or we just do it, you know.
Yeah, like, just get here and we'll do such and such thing, which, you know, that's cute. That's how it should. Like, I'm not saying all the time, you know, because también, like, pamper your man.
Yeah,
like,
but I get what you mean, though.
Like,
I get what you mean about that whole, like, feeling like you're fucking Google or something. Like, why am I giving you all the answers? Like, put your effort, put your time. Yeah, at that point, it's like, oh, never mind. I don't want to go.
Yeah, because with this guy, we've talked enough for him to know kind of like what we're both into, you know? So I'm like...
Yeah, and even like that, as a guy, I'm trying to think as a guy. Well, this girl's already mentioned, let's go get a drink. Let's go to get a drink. Okay, so obviously she wants to drink. Let me find a place that has good drinks and take her there. There you go. Not hard.
And I already told him where I live. Right? He knows my situation. He knows that I don't drive. I would have been willing to Uber halfway had he been like, you know what, like at this time or like whenever you're done recording, you know, like whatever. But not even that. And he messaged me and I haven't opened the message because I'm like, I already feel like it's gonna be something stupid.
So disappointing, yeah. No, can you just open it for us, Mariah? Can you do this live? Thank you.
Okay, he messaged me 3 hours ago. But see, I'm not even done recording. But it could have been 11, girl. You know that when it comes to getting ready for, because he's not ugly. He has tattoos. He's pretty cool. Like, you know, like I could tell you that I was already not liking him to the obsession point, but like I was willing to stay up late, which that's saying a lot. You know? Yeah,
because we don't give you that time if we're not interested.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, like around your area.
That's what you said.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. So you see that I'm not lying. I'm gonna show you guys. This is what I said. But if I'm being asked out, I don't really like to plan anything. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I would much rather
the guy have a plan than me planning anything.
And then,
not lying.
and then that was his response to that.
And
like,
then that was
in
his
your
response.
area.
I mean, like, around your area. I mean, like, okay, Barbie, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I cannot with
Yeah, that's stressful. Oh my God. I'd be like, fuck
See,
this.
so I'm like, this is why.
No, okay. And then what happens is now you're pissed. You don't go. You don't go. You don't respond. You don't go. And then in a couple weeks, the same shit's going to happen, right? And then you're going to be like your blunt self and you're going to tell them, well, like every time we try to plan something, you really don't fall through or you don't have a set plan. So yeah. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, you're the one who's always backing out. They try to like pin it on you. And it's like, no, dude, like, do you want to or not?
Right. And yeah, I don't even know what to tell you about these men. And then I was talking to one of the past one, my Christian Grey today, and I posted something on my Instagram story. I don't know if you saw it. I posted like what did I say? It's always how it's work. Never deja el trabajo, yo te mantengo. Like never stop working and I'll take care of you. And so I put a meme that says when I had to get up to go to work and be a responsible adult, it says like, Ma, I don't want to go anymore. It's like a little cat crying, right? So he responded to my story and he's like, stop, you're not willing to do it. And I was like, not with anyone that has kids. And he's like, everybody has kids, babe. And I was like, not me.
Okay.
I know.
So that's another thing. Okay, let's touch that subject. I'm glad you brought that subject up. Because a lot of my younger girls that listen have been saying like, I'm talking to this guy. It's going great, but he has kids. Ugh.
Walk away.
And I'm like, okay, so that's you, right? That's you. For me, it was like, well, let's start with one. I'm already in the mentality that I'm not going to find someone at my age that has the same things as me, like no kids, no baggage, no divorce, no exes, no nothing. I'm not going to find that. If I put that expectation, like let's say I put that filter on my shit, my choices are very fucking limited. So I tell the girlies, you know, you're young, have fun with it and then see where it goes. Now, if it gets serious, that's where you have to ask yourself, are you down to be a stepmommy? Are you down for that shit? Are you down to meet that kid? Or are you down to be number 2 because you're not going to be number 1? So when that time comes, then worry about it. Right now, no. And some of them have this like moral confliction, like, no, I don't want to be that person. And so I'm like, I don't know. Because for me, it's like, if you put that filter that you don't want someone with kids, I mean, your choices are very limited because now these people will be having their kids at 18. So
this is true. But like, I think like you're coming from a place where you're in it right now. Like you're a stepmom now.
But even before.
Your relationship.
Even before. Because like, if I would have had that filter, I would have told my significant other right now, no, for the single fact that he has a kid. You see what I mean? Yeah. Like if I had that mentality.
Because for me, okay, so because of my last relationship, which I have to keep talking about it because it's my last one, okay? Because of what happened, like I told this guy today, because he's like, well, why not? And I was like, well, I'm sorry, but it may sound selfish, but I don't want to cancel plans because of your kid. I don't want to have to make plans because of the kid. I don't want to love another woman's child and then just for the kid to be taken away from me, because that's exactly what happened to me. So me personally, I'm not willing to go through that again, because you know how much I love that kid. And yes, now I have a little more communication with him, thank God, but for almost a year I couldn't talk to him, I couldn't say hi to him, and it was fucking killing me. And so not only was I mourning a relationship, I was mourning what I learned, what it is to be a mom with him. Because quiera que no, you know, like I did act like his mom. I took care of him like he was my child, and I love him like if he was mine. And that's not to say that I'm not going to find someone else that has kids and I'm not going to be able to provide that love for them. But it's just like now I'm tainted, you know, like now that relationship left me tainted. And so I don't want to have to go through that again. And not only that, like I said, I don't want to come second to no one. Mm-hmm. Because if, to me, it's like the way I see it is like, I'm loving, I'm caring, I take care of people, I'm all these things, right? Like, I know that if I exist, someone like me exists. And I understand that in the society that we're in, like, a lot of people do have kids. But just because of that filter that you're talking about, I'm not gonna... How do I say this without sounding fucked up? Like I'm not saying it because of
No,
you.
no, no.
Like, you're
Say,
making
no,
your
say it
choices,
because then
but
I have something to say after that. But go for it.
yeah, but to me, if I go and like I think like that, I'm like, okay, so I'm settling for whatever is left over, and so I don't want that, you know. Like I don't know, it has to take like a really fucking amazing man for me to want that again, and it's like as of right now, I know that I don't.
Yeah, no. So now to agree with you, if my relationship, knock on wood, were not to work out, I would not date someone with kids. Me personally. I gave it a shot right now because I've never been in it, right? And I went in it open minded. So what I'm trying to say to the girlies is like, give it a shot. You don't know till you try it. Now, if you try it and you don't like it and it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, don't do it again. But if you like it, you're like, you know what? I don't mind it. Like, they'll be fine. Like, it doesn't get that serious to where you meet the kids and then that relationship fails. But you knew there was a kid and then you go into another one. Fine. But like, like me, I never, well, yeah, I've been with someone that has kids, but I've never met the kids or I never like, the kids were not the topic of the subject or whatever. But, right now, like I'm in a relationship and I'm very much in a relationship with the kid and I love the kid very much and I like it, so what I mean is like if I would have my mind would have been closed off to the idea, probably would have not experienced this. But that being said, if I were in your shoes, I also would not go with someone that has a kid because, if anything, this has taught me that, like you said, it's not to sound fucked up, but you get the leftovers and not in a fucked up way. For me, it's like if we were to have kids, I'm sure his energy is not going to be the same as it was when, his kid was born. And, this would be my first child. And as a woman, it's like, oh my God, and if you're accepting of it, right? If you want it, you're like, oh, this is like the highlight, like this is a life point, right? And
It's like a canon event, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and this is their number two. It's like, been there, done that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of the reasons why, like, with older men, I've dated older men. And I've always like, well, I want to share experiences. Like, I want to travel with you. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. But with the older men, it's like, well, they already been there, done that. And it's like, I don't want to be with someone who's been there, done that. I want someone who wants to experience things with me.
Girl, it's like that episode. Well, the movie of Sex and the City, the first movie of Sex and the City, when Carrie's planning her big wedding, and it's her wedding, it's her first wedding, and then Big is over here like, I've done this shit already. Like, do you think I want to fucking go through it again, like in public and da da da? And it's like, I don't want to do that.
But see, for me, it's like, well, if you love me enough, you're gonna do it. So
yeah, but like the way I think about it, and I would tell my ex all the time whenever he would ask me to have a kid with him, I'll be like, you already got married, you already had a kid, like what if we have another boy? Like your boy's always gonna come first. And my mom would tell me like, you need to find a man who doesn't have a past because you're always gonna come second. And mother knows best, I guess. But yeah, it's a really tricky situation. And like with my Christian Grey, the guy I was talking to today, like we met each other when we were both single. Like if things would have been different, like we could have made a life for each other, but it didn't happen that way. He went and had a kid with someone else. I was with my ex. Like it's understandable. It's not like he was gonna sit around waiting for me forever. But now things have changed. Like I just can't see him like that, and I also can't just go fuck around with him. Like I see him different, Before it was that for both of us. But yeah, it's a tricky situation. And then like situation. And then for the girls, like I would say also look at what kind of dad, like if you're gonna go and you're gonna date a guy with kids, look at what type of parent they are now. Because if they are a disassociated dad, like they're not ¿cómo se dice? Like ¿cómo se dice estar al pendiente? Like como que
like a responsible?
Let's say that not responsible, but like if the other parent, if the mom, for example, right? Because we're talking about guys with kids. If the mom is the one that's always like looking after the kid and like they have to be begging this kid to like pay child support or things like that. Because I have a friend also She has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend has like 3 kids. This guy literally works under the table just to not have to pay child support. And so I'm like, do you really want to have kids with this guy? Do you want to marry this guy? Do you want to be that? Because when you have kids with him, who's to say that he's not going to be the same with your kids? You know, so pay attention to those things, how they talk about the baby mama, how they act towards the children. Because also, if they prefer to cancel plans with their children for you all the fucking time, that tells you that the kids are not a priority. And when and if you guys break up once you have kids together, that's exactly what's going to happen. And you're going to be stuck being a single parent. Mm-hmm. So, food for thought on that end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I don't know.
It's hard, no?
I don't know. I'm right now, I'm just thankful that I'm not in that situation. I was like, because then you fall in a loophole, right? Like, you start overthinking and you're like, what the hell? What if? You're like, no. Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah. So for me, like, that was the biggest lesson that I took from my ex. Because, like, I should have known, you know, that, like, he wasn't even the one to pay for his kid's school. Like, his mom, meaning the kid's grandma, would be the one to pay for everything. Because he would rather go blow up his money on fucking alcohol and drugs and whatnot. And so that was a future that I was going to have with him had I stayed.
But you didn't.
We're out of the void.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, in a different void. In a different universe.
Right. Different timeline.
But yeah, girl. Going back to Facebook dating, I posted a picture where I'm with my headphones. And some guy's like, oh, like, what do you do? Do you sing? And I was like, no, I have a podcast with my cousin. And he's like, oh, well, I'm looking to get interviewed to read my poems. And I was like, bitch, who the fuck told you that I wanted to interview you?
Right, or that I wanted to hear your poems. Sorry, bro.
Now dating sites are fucking also networking events, apparently.
I heard a lot about that on Bumble. About Bumble, like that a lot of people are there promoting themselves or something.
I hate Bumble. I don't know. I don't like to make the first move. I will sometimes, but Bumble is like the girl has to talk first. And then I feel like all the people there are like preppy. I don't know how to explain Bumble, but I don't like Bumble.
Yeah, like the feedback that I've gotten is just that it's like full of fake people or fake accounts, like too perfect, like too model-y-ish. And then they're just promoting to be models and stuff.
And their Instagram. Like, I don't plug my Instagram. God forbid I'm going to plug my Instagram. Like, my Instagram is public, granted. But I am not going to put my Instagram on, or like my Snapchat or like the podcast on any other dating site. Because there's also a lot of people that are promoting their OnlyFans or, you know, like stuff like that. And I see guys, like their bios, like, if you want me to buy pictures of you on Snapchat, don't even like swipe right. It's like, okay. And I'm convinced that guys do not read your bio. Like, you could literally put, I'm a schizophrenic psycho, or like, I killed my ex-boyfriend on your bio, and they'll still like you because they don't read it.
Dang. I know, huh?
They just swipe.
Mm-hmm. They just look at the visuals.
Mm-hmm. Man, can't live with them. Can't live without them. Nah, you can't live without them, but...
That's the team.
They're good ones. There's some good ones out there. You just have to fucking go through a lot of frogs, I guess.
For real. A lot of variants.
Yeah. Like Deadpool looking for the Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Any other stories before we go, babe?
No, I think that was about it. We covered a lot.
Mm-hmm. On that note, so next week, the subject is gonna be...
interesting life hacks. So things that Mariah and I have noticed online and things that we're like, oh, hey, this is interesting. Let's try it. And we've tried it. Also like personal hygiene things. I guess you could say it's going to be our beauty episode, but not really. Self-care. There you go. That's the one.
Emojis of stars and hearts. The visuals.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's going to be a fun one, I think. This one was surprisingly insightful, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Well, all right, babe. As always, a pleasure talking to you.
Same, babe. And thank you guys for listening.
Listeners have a good time. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram, please, at the Chose
Spread the word.
Podcast. I don't even know our username.
I know.
Oh, it's at the Chodes Pod. Chodes with an O. And then we do have a TikTok account, but it's literally the same thing as the Instagram. So whatever you guys want to go. And share us on your stories. Participate in our questions and.
Or tell other people to listen to us. Even if they're just sleeping, just play us in the background. Motivate us to keep doing
Rate
this.
us too. If you can. Oh, also, we have a YouTube now. So we're on YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. So if you can, whoever listens, on a weekly basis, if you can go rate us on any of those platforms or all of them if you can, give us a 5-star review because we're 5-star people. And just leave feedback.
Yeah, tell us what we can improve. Don't be shady. Don't say about our freaking posting our episodes. You guys need to motivate us. I know. You guys need to motivate us
to post.
I know.
No, girl, but it's because life has been getting hard lately. Me with the commuting at work, you have roommates, I have a roommate. We're not used to that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find the time for because you have to literally shush everybody in the house. You cannot even breathe next to it.
Right now we can't even have a fan on. Fuck that.
Yeah, we're both literally dying because it's fucking hot, but we can't have the AC on because then we're trying to make you guys
get
comfortable
quality
by
sound.
not listening to the zzz of the air, So
if Mariah could, she would hush the airplanes too. But
I would, but these bitches. I'm kind of sort of close to LAX, I guess, but it makes me feel at home. At home, meaning Guatemala. But, alright. I love you, babe. We love you guys. Thank you for listening. For staying with us for 21 episodes now.
Yay. Thank you, guys.
Y los que faltan. Alright.
Alright. Love you guys. Have a good day.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.